Well, hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and we have a new review of this video of Harry at the Wellchild Awards. And first of all, I want to know, where are you writing for? Where are you coming from? Watching and writing and commenting everything. I want to know what I'm seeing your comments double over here. Let me see if you can. Okay, that would be much better this way. Okay, and all right, this will be much better now. Okay, I had made an analysis of this video back in the day. I don't quite remember what was my final conclusions about it. But so many of you wanted me to take a second look just to, know what was going on here. Remember that it was at the Wellchild Awards, that they are going to go for the UK soon, very soon, in a couple of weeks. And so this is something that they have done other times. They have been to this event, and he was talking, and Harry was apparently like touched with the feeling of talking about his wife and Archie hadn't been born yet. The Netherlands, Chicago, Alabama, Florida. This is great. Texas, many places around the world. This is amazing. It's always great to see you here. Let me arrange this a bit better. Have a better organization. Have a better organization here. It's a bit hot today, this evening, when I'm sweating a bit. Oh well, let's begin. I'm gonna be playing clips. This clip is about 4 minutes long. This clip is 4 minutes long. I will be playing it piece by piece and giving you my insights. I'm gonna unmute the beat itself. See if you can hear it.
Good evening, everyone.
It's very low volume. Let me do one thing. I'm going to try to fix the low volume of this video. Let's try something. I'm going to lower my volume and going to raise the one of the video. Let me know if this works.
My wife and I feel incredibly privileged to be able to join you once again at this year's Wellchild Awards and to be in a room with such amazing human beings. It has been over a decade since I first came to these awards, and every year they never fail to surprise and inspire me. Yet this year it resonates in a different way because now I'm a father.
Okay, this is what he was talking about, that this resonated in a different way because I think Archie had been born by this point. I don't quite remember.
These awards, and every year they never fail to surprise and inspire me. Yet this year it resonates in a different way because now I'm a father.
And now I'm a father. Archie had already been born. I'm sorry about that mess up. Well, that is classic Harry talking about something that is emotional to him, something that is apparently dearest to him, that he might love the idea to be a parent, but at the same time he presses his lips. This is something that it had happened more and more frequently in recent years. And Harry didn't used to do this that frequently, pressing his lips. You know that pressing one's lips is being a bit frustrated, is being a bit nervous, there's an emotional reaction, something that is not everything is okay with the person at that moment. So being that I'm a father now and pressing his lips, there's some kind of resistance to that. He's like coming out not that confident about the fact. So many things that we can tell about that gesture, but as usual in body language, you cannot jump to conclusions by just one ingredient or just one clue. We have to take a closer look at many other clues. Let's play that from the start again.
Thank you, Gabby, very much. Good evening, everyone, again.
He is trying to be friendly. He's trying to be smiling to try to shake that issue of nervousness. But as you can see, his smile is not genuine. His smile is not genuine because his lip corners are basically flat. It's like he's smiling to his sides, not up, and there's not enough, that squinting of the eyes to say that a smile is genuine. Maybe it's he's nervous. He's usually, I think Harry is usually more nervous when he's got notes or teleprompter. That this kind of things that up here that have the script that he's gonna read. He's usually more, how to say that, nervous when he has that assistant. When he doesn't have those tools, he looks more confident. I guess that he is forced to practice what he's going to say, so the practice is what gives him more confidence. It's not the case in this at this moment. That's why that very odd, very uncomfortable smile. Wonder if Megan taught him that. What do you think that Megan could have taught Harry? Megan should have taught Harry many things about public speaking.
My wife and I.
There's also this gesture at the. I was watching this.
Thanks very much.
There's a bit of that he's twisting a bit his lower lip to one side, with more nervousness, being a bit, might be frustrated. He looks like he doesn't want to be there giving that speech, even if it's something emotional, and he should be excited to say, hey, this is great, this is another opportunity to give this speech, but this time I'm a father. Okay, it's like the first day of school or first day at college. You are excited of a new experience, of this new step in your life. But Harry doesn't show that here. He should be excited about that. He should be the word is euphoric about it. He doesn't show that. Sometimes you can be clumsy or awkward, but you irradiate energy because you are excited of what you're doing. Maybe you did not practice that much, but you could be like projecting that energy on the stage, on the public, on your audience. It doesn't happen here either. So that's why I understand so many doubts of Harry's words in this speech, and his body language is not aligned with someone that is actually proud of what he's saying, including I'm a father now.
Good evening, everyone, again. My wife and I feel incredibly privileged.
It's like my wife and I feel incredibly privileged. That bird touching is also a pacifying gesture. It's totally unnecessary. Those gestures that do not support your words, they're unnecessary. It could be called pacifiers. They have other names, but we will stay with pacifying gestures, that you use them to pacify yourself. And in this case, he lowers his gaze, he looks down.
And I feel incredibly privileged.
We feel incredibly privileged. There's something that he's not comfortable with. He's not comfortable with being privileged. I've been studying Harry for some time. I've been telling you this for quite some time. I don't think he's comfortable with public life. I'm trying, in the following months, I will keep analyzing them, the articles, and I will be trying to, this hypothesis I have, trying to make sense of it with whatever we would watch in these following weeks when they visit the UK and Europe, to see if there's something about this. Maybe he doesn't want any public life. He wants just to stay at home.
to be able to join you once again at this year's Wellchild Awards and to be in a room with such amazing human beings. It has been over a decade since I first came to these awards, and every year they never fail to surprise and inspire me. Yet this year it resonates in a different way because now I'm a...
Yeah, I noticed that he I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna go. This it's not possible to tell if there are any substances. I know that you're asking that in the comments. I cannot highlight your comments. There's no way of knowing that with a video like this. But I find things that I find odd is his blinking frequency. Harry has two states of blinking frequency. Either he is nervous and he's blinking a lot, or in cases like this,
such amazing human beings.
He's talking.
It has been over a decade
like,
since I first came to these awards, and every year they never fail to surprise and inspire me. Yet this year...
It's a lower blinking frequency than he's not blinking that much. Maybe this is something that he practiced. Maybe this is something that he was thinking before going on stage, and that's why he was. He didn't have to blink that much. Remember that blinking also signals that you're accessing your memory banks, your thoughts, your memories. What you have to do at that moment, you're processing at that moment. That's why I always suggest you, if you want to know if someone understood what you just said, just make sure that they blink at least just a bit, just one blink. Okay, you tell someone to do something, and you just make sure that they blink. Okay, as they say, yes, I will do it, or or whatever. Okay, you need a blink. If they don't blink, it's because the brain is still trying to make sense of the information, hasn't accessed the memory banks because the brain doesn't know what to access. So make sure people blink when you're giving them instructions or telling them to do something.
Since I first came to these awards, and every year they never fail to surprise and inspire me. Yet this year it resonates in a different way because now I'm a father.
Yeah, that pressing, he should smile at that moment. He should have smiled. But now I'm a father. If I play that clip, if I play those 5 seconds without sound, I'm gonna play them without sound. Okay? Yeah, hello, Mr. Scary Eyes. Now I am Mr. Scary Eyes. If I play this without sound, it's like he's giving bad news. You're gonna tell me that now I'm a father. Now I'm a father, and he presses his lips. It looks gloomy. Do you think this is the body language of a man that is glad, happy, euphoric? Great job of being a father or something? No, it isn't. It isn't. And yes, I know so many of you in the comments talking about the conspiracies and everything, but I will go directly to the body language. If you are proud of something, this is your firstborn, and you're proud of it, and you're excited, you should be at least smiling. You remember that first video of Harry when he was, when Archie had just been born, and he was speaking to the media. He went out speaking to the media. It was a very short clip. He was smiling at that moment, but right now it's a shadow of that joy. It's a shadow of that emotion, excitement, anything. This it's like giving bad news. Let's put the volume back on. Yes, he looks angry. He looks angry nonetheless.
Last year when my wife and I attended, we knew we were expecting our first child.
Okay, this is when he begins to break down. This is the part that everyone wanted to know. This is the part that I analyzed like 1 year ago.
No one else did at the time, but we did. And
let me hear this again.
We knew we were expecting our first child. No one else did at the time.
When we were expecting our first child, I'm gonna give him a pass. Okay, I'm gonna give him a free uh, free pass this time, but it sounds a bit impersonal. Okay, sounds a bit impersonal. You could have said Archie, but he said our first child. Gonna give it a pass this time.
Our first child. No one else did at the time, but we did. And I remember.
Okay, this is it. He was talking. He was saying.
I attended. We knew we were expecting our.
Let's go back a little bit.
Last year, when my wife and I attended.
Last year, when my wife and I attended,
we knew we were expecting our first child.
Well, we were expecting our first child.
No one else did at the time.
And no one else did at the time. What does he mean, no one else did at the time?
But we did.
But we did. Okay, but what are you talking about? You attended?
And I remember.
And I remember. This is a bit. This is why people say that Harry must be high or something. It doesn't make sense what he's doing, but he's saying. It's strange. I have to say that I haven't paid attention to the actual words coming out of his mouth and trying to make sense of them. I have to go back because this couldn't be that way.
Because now I'm a father. Last year. Last year, when my wife and I attended.
Last year, when my wife and I attended.
We knew we were expecting our first child.
Well, we were expecting our first child.
No one else did at the time.
And no one else did at the time. What is he talking about?
But we did. And
all right.
I remember.
let me get this through to see if we can make sense of it. We're gonna replay this a couple times. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jari. I think this is what I'm not getting. Only him and Megan knew about having a baby. Let's go back.
Last year, when my wife and I attended, we knew we were expecting our first child. No one else did at the time.
Okay, we knew we were expecting our first child. Okay, but it still sounds a bit impersonal.
But we did.
But we did. Of course, if you don't know, who could? Well,
I remember.
that moment. This is a moment that everyone asked, and I said, well, I saw certain sadness on his eyes, but that mouth is what doesn't fit. Looking again 1 year later, that mouth, that smirk, doesn't fit. I would really like to give Harry the benefit of the doubt, because when you are nervous, you can make all sort of faces, but this is not something that usually happen at this kind of events. Okay, I can understand that one person, I don't know how one person can be so emotional about talking about 1 year ago, going to an event, and only them knowing that that they were expecting their first child, and at the same time talk so impersonally about that first child. That is two things that maybe are a bit harder to understand why he talks about Archie in such an impersonal way. Okay? He's at the Wellchild Awards, he has a lot of children, a lot of families, and it would make sense to just talk about Megan or Archie, okay? You don't have to be as formal at that moment. As you see that he was giving a personal anecdote. Now, this is more like what you should do and what kind of audience are you addressing to. Maybe your audience is more formal. Maybe if your case, if it's more professional, it will be you have to introduce them in your speech, because maybe they don't know who your wife or your husband is, or how your kids are named. Okay. That would be a way to do it. But in this case, I think it had this dissonance between trying to connect with the fact that he and Megan were expecting their first child last year, and connecting with the audience that he wants to talk to the parents, to the children who were there at that moment. What was Megan doing through the speech? I have no idea. There's no camera on Megan, and I haven't found any camera pointing to Megan at that moment.
Sorry. And I remember squeezing Megan's hand so tight during the awards, and both of us were thinking.
He now mentions Megan's. Okay, she now mentions Megan. He first said my wife, and now he says Megan.
Sorry. And I remember squeezing Megan's hand so tight during the awards, and both of us were thinking what it would be like to be parents one day. And
now this is, I remember squeezing Megan's hands so tight, and we were wondering what it would be like being parents one day. Now my question is, do you really need to read that from a piece of paper? No, it's not just me. It's not something that you have to practice much, right? Because you must have recalled that memory many times, and you must have commented that memory to that anecdote to your friends more than a couple times. So this will be like a regular conversation, something like they have said, or Harry has said more than a couple times. So why is he reading at that moment? Maybe he's not reading. If he's not reading, it's even worse, because that's his telling an anecdote that should be delightful for him, and he should be looking into people's eyes just to connect with that delight. When you are glad of saying something that fulfills you, something, a victory, a personal victory, you like to see into people's eyes. Why? Because you want that feedback. You want to connect with them first by looking into their eyes. That's common sense. And you want to see that feedback. You want to connect with them. Why is he at that moment? If he's reading from a script, it's sad. You don't need to read that from a script. No one should need to read that from a script. And if he's not reading from a script, then it's like he's ashamed of saying that. So I would prefer to think that Harry is so thick that he had to read that from a script. Maybe he was so nervous, so thick, that he couldn't even ad-lib something that he must have said 10 times or more in every family reunion. Well, I mean, which family? Because he's not with his family, she's not with her family. So, well, scratch that. No family reunions, but friends reunions. It's odd. It's something. This is something that I never saw on my first 5 or 6 times. The first time that I saw this video, and my first video analysis, I never saw any of this. Never made sense of that. That's why I tell you so many times, when you go over a video and you go over the words and over the images, at first maybe you say, hey, I'm scratching the surface. I'm just watching the blinks, the shoulder, the single shoulder shrug, the smirks, the dipping delight. That's great. But when you begin really to compare words and the face and the demeanor and the behavior, you begin to notice that there is so many signals that confirm your initial hunch that there's something wrong here. There's something odd here. There's something that doesn't fit in here. So maybe I was looking at this particular signs of body language specifically. That's why I don't like to focus solely on body language. It's also important to spot the words, to make sense of the words of the person and why this person is speaking those words. And you can imagine, hey, he must have said this many times before. Why does he have to read this from a script?
Sorry. And I remember squeezing Megan's hand so tight during the awards. And both of us were thinking what it would be like to be parents one day. And more so, what it would be like to do everything we could to protect and help our child should they be born with immediate challenges.
Okay, all of that was read from a paper. That ultimately blocks or deletes or erases or neutralizes the purpose of what he's saying. I'm going to repeat what he's saying to see how important is this. And everybody by this point, if you have watched my videos on public speaking, you know how critical is the first part of a speech. And this was by design. He was talking about a personal experience, and they were wondering how would it be to raise a child with any limitations.
Parents one day, and more so, what it would be like to do everything we could
to do everything we could
protect and help our child should they be born with immediate challenges.
Should they be born with immediate challenges? Okay, that's what the Wellchild Award is about. But just looking at a piece of paper, neutralize that. I'm going to like switch to the fact that in terms of public speaking is absolutely horrendous, a horrendous performance. Okay, not gonna say that Harry is lying by this moment. Not gonna say that he is not in some way connected emotionally to what he's saying, but the public speaking part, the most important part of the speech, that is to connect with your audience in a personal way, that flopped. That flopped terribly. Flopped terribly because you, for some reason, you got extremely emotional when you were talking about that you and Megan were the only ones that knew you were expecting a child. And that's why so many people say that he was laughing. He was that is jumping delight at that moment. What was going on at that moment? This is interesting, this comment. The word resonates gives away who really wrote it. Megan. She always says resonates on a personal level. Her speeches are awful and she should be banned from writing them. Well, I can tell you, I can't say that Megan's speeches are awful. I haven't analyzed them. To be fair, the speeches themselves, but this is not cutting it. Why did he laugh? Some could say that he was nervous at the time, so that he was like trying to. I really don't know. I really don't know, but because the emotion he was trying to convey, and this is the issue, how body language and behavior is so complex. No, it's not just about, hey, he put his hand like this, he smirked like this, he threw his eyes to the right. It's not as simple as that. You have to try to make sense of why all these signals are happening at any given moment, and what would he be feeling at that moment. That is I don't know. Maybe if you have difficulties, if you have any kind of hurdles, obstacles, something that you want to share, but they haven't shared anything about anything wrong with Archie, maybe he could have been emotional. The struggles we had, the obstacles we had, but none of that, not that we know. But so he has this reaction that's totally odd, that is smiling, that is laughing, that is nervous, that is this is trying to shrug it off, trying to play it cool. It's not working. And worst of all, when he tries to connect emotionally, he reads from a script. That's why so many of you are commenting. I have to say that. That's why so many of you are commenting that it was Megan who wrote this speech. I'm going to play from he's the one who snorts. He's the one who snorts.
All of us, a sense of optimism, a sense of hope.
I'm going to rewind a bit here.
Throughout their lives. And yet, after meeting all of the Wellchild parents and the kids themselves over the years, you've managed to give all of us a sense of optimism, a sense of hope and strength that no professional, no best-selling book, and no amount of advice could ever give any of us. So thank you for being you.
So I just see he's looking straight into the teleprompter here. You see this panel. This panel is reflecting the script to him. We don't see the script, but he see the script because this is a reflecting panel, and the script is in at ground level, and he sees the script reflected on that glass panel, and he is straight up reading. Okay.
A sense of optimism, a sense of hope and strength that no professional, no best-selling book, and no amount of advice.
And now he looks to the other side. He has another of those reflectors, those panels on his right side. So he's reading on at that moment.
Could ever give any of us. So thank you for being you.
Well, that thank you for being you is so far the only thing he has said without looking at a script. And you can see this face. What is going on here? This man is being forced. This is like modern slavery. What is happening here? You've never been interested in the royal in the least, but you have corrupt. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I will be making more videos in other topics. Okay, I'm sorry. Someone took a picture of Harry on a commercial plane to England 2 days ago. How do I send you the info? This should be my. Where's my social media? I'm gonna highlight my social media. There's my social media. You can send me any info there, right there. So any info, any image that you have. Let me see. There's a super chat I missed. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I thought I had another super chat. Well, no more super chats. But well, any tip you want to send, remember to follow me on my social media and send me any tips about what you find, photos, videos, anything. And I will have a third YouTube channel soon. A third YouTube channel will be exploring other topics, not body language, not behavior, but only general pop culture and philosophy and maybe some science. I will going around there, and when I populate that with at least one video that I want to make, I will be sharing it with you, I promise. But as of now, I have only one video there. I don't want to overwhelm you with more content. But right now, we continue here. If you want to support my channel, remember that there's a huge PayPal link in the description, and any donations are welcome. And thanks for your super chats and super stickers that they help me in my video making journey. If you have ever learned something, you don't learn something from me unless you apply that in your daily life. Just promise me that. That's all that I need to be fulfilled. Apply them in your daily life and let me know if it works. I know it works, but you have to apply that, because then it will just be entertainment, and that's not the idea behind my channel. So many contradicting signals in Harry, so many issues we have here that do not match the emotion of the moment. I can understand that you can be a lousy public speaker. I can understand that you can be nervous. What I don't understand is that when it comes the moment to talk about your family and your child, it's not that you need to have the right emotions, but it's like you have odd, strange emotions that makes everyone doubt about your honesty, your confidence, and your everything. It's like something is happening in here, and that's why he lowers his head so much and his gaze and presses his lips that much. He's not comfortable. He's frustrated. He doesn't want to be there, and he absolutely doesn't want to partake in this kind of events, no matter what they are or what they are about. It could be charities, whatever. I think they're doing this like a smoke screen. That's this coming back to the UK and going to Germany. This is a smoke screen because they were not invited to this other event in the United States, and they don't want to have any excuses for that. I don't remember the event on the United States that they want to dodge. I'm a child of two psychopaths. Oh, I'm sorry for you. It's not just entertainment, it's therapeutic. I try to be therapeutic. I try to be that. I try to be everything at the same time. I know that sometimes I'm not able to do that. But well.
All of the young people, their families, the nurses, the support staff.
He's reading from this one. You see, he's looking straight into this panel here, so he's reading into the teleprompter. Again, that's why he looks so stiff. It should be an aid, something that helps you, and something that, in fact, the audience in this event was quite small, and they were at a lower level. It would be a bit odd that you were at a lower level than Harry, and Harry's looking straight into the horizon. That's something that people don't, the organizers do not take into account. I understand that you need a certain angle, a 90-degree angle to the teleprompter to work. But at the same time, if we are sitting like in the audience at a lower level, like, I don't know, 3 heads lower level, it will be odd looking at the presenter, at the speaker, looking into the distance, to totally disconnect from the people. It's something that better don't give a speech, because you are ruining anything that you remotely want to connect with people. You don't connect. Okay, you don't connect. It's always usually tip. If you want to address a group of people or an audience, maybe 100 people, I hope you get to talk to 100 people sometime, because it's something that will energize you to the max. Remember just to pick 3 general areas in your audience and talk to those areas. If you can pick people that are really engaged with you, go ahead, but don't fall in the trap of just talking to those engaged people. There is a trap that one can fall very easily. Don't fall into those traps. Thanks, Carmela, for your super chat. Don't fall into that trap. You just make sure you look into your audience. You connect with them. Harry is not interested in connecting with them, and he must have had training in that. Hey, Harry, you know what? To connect with your audience, it's better if you look at them, not at the teleprompters. So if you could, more or less practice this speech, okay, or at least try to read that from a huge letters on papers or something, or try to connect in any way with them, it would be much better. Well, you know what? You're there to bring motivation, to bring hope to these children and to their families, and you're absolutely failing at it. You're failing with your so-called personal anecdote. you're failing with the connection of that personal anecdote to the experience of the families in there and the children failed and failed with the connection afterwards. So it's you have two options, or either he's as thick as a plank, or he's purposefully not interested. And I don't know about you, but if I was Megan, and luckily I'm not, I would suggest that he practice that a bit, because as you can see, we're watching this years down the line, and it's embarrassing to confirm that Megan was allowing this to happen years ago and still allows this to happen. So this is part of Megan's agenda too. And you can say, but Harry, I know that some of you are Harry fans, but I don't know there are much Harry fans out there. They're more like Megan's fans, and Harry is the husband, so by extension they are Harry's fans for now. You might say, well, but Harry is a grown man, he should notice. Well, he is not noticing that. And as a royal who gave public speeches even before knowing of Meghan Markle's existence, he had training in this. So he's not interested, and Meghan is not interested at all in seeing or watching her husband doing a great job at public speaking. I wonder again why that must be. Oh yes, I have said that in another video. It's because she wants to gain something by contrast. Maybe people look at Harry like he's a lousy public speaker, so when Meghan speaks, she is the better of the two. That could work. That is able, but sadly, Harry has the tools to overcome this, and he shows no intention of doing so. Even talking to children and their families, he shows no interest whatsoever. That should tell you a lot about Harry's personality, about Harry's intentions, about Harry wanting to be there. He doesn't want to be there. He's just warming up a chair and warming up a microphone. It's unnecessary. Is that it? That's it. Well, yeah, I know. Thick as a plank. Yeah, thick as a plank. Those are the words.
Here tonight have demonstrated extraordinary strength, courage, and resilience. Never, ever underestimate what this means for each other, within your community, or further afield. You are all role models, and pretty fantastic ones at that. The stories we've heard tonight of Mia, of Reese, Dexter, Emmy, of everyone really, demonstrates exactly why we all support this incredible charity, and why we support all of you.
Something that I've thought a lot of times, seeing Harry giving a speech, and having seen Harry giving this speech at the UN, one has to say, Harry and Meghan have to make money in any way. And Harry and the articles is undeniable. We can say they're gonna go irrelevant sooner or later. They're gonna be, no one is gonna care about them. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. They could be as irrelevant as you want. They could be, their value could be next to zero, but they will still be drawing attention for years. That is we cannot deny that. That is impossible. They will keep drawing attention. That is a given. That's not gonna change. Now, my question is, you have such a huge platform. You have such a huge brand image, a personal brand. You have a personal brand as Prince Harry. You have a personal brand as Meghan Markle. And I have said this many times as a suggestion, as an honest suggestion for the articles. Hey, you should at least at the very least, try to make give good speeches. It doesn't take that much. You just have to memorize the goddamn script. That's all that you have to do. It's that simple. Thanks, Caroline. Thanks for that. It's just that simple. That's all you need to do. It's practicing that, being memorable. I don't know how to pronounce it. Memorable. And that will be nice, because people then will call you to give speeches to other places. What is that you spend so much of your time? I would like to know. I know that one day privacy, okay, whatever you want. But what is that you spend so much time that you cannot polish your public speaking traits to the max? You can do that. You can focus on that. Even at your job at Better Up will benefit from that. Better Up is interested in you having those public speaking skills. Why don't you do that? That makes sense. That is thinking with common sense. I was about to drop an F word in that, but I'm not gonna do it today. That is common sense. Better Up, Archwell, and Netflix, Spotify, everything will benefit from you having the ability to communicate. And anyone can learn the ability to communicate. I've always said that. We have Demosthenes, we have Winston Churchill, we have James Earl Jones, legends with their voices, legends, absolute legends, and legends. I don't know the word. Why can't you just focus on that? Since you're a public person, you're having an amazing platform, you will always have eyes on you. If you really want to do something good, you have to put sweat, blood, tears in that. But they're not interested. They want the easy route. They want to draw, I don't know what. I would like to know. How do they make money? Honestly, how do they make money? They could do it. They could be I don't know, speakers for anything.
Each of you, through your heartfelt commitments, make it loose, child. Make it possible for these and other children to live the life that they deserve at home with their families. The Wellchild community is bravely addressing isolation and fear, because we know that Wellchild is not simply about having a well child. It is about having a well parent, a well sibling, and a well family. This community's mission is clear, and in the face of a
that pressure on that mouth pressure, not only pressing his lips, but his you can see his try to look at him right now, okay, and try to put your jaw in the shape, or try to mimic his jaw position as he's talking. He's tense. He's there's a word in English that is perfect for that. He's it's not despising. It's another word. He's hating the moment. He's not liking the moment. There's a word about that, and that's why he has his jaw so tense.
A well child. It is about having a well parent, a well sibling, and a well family.
Yeah, it's his jaw is a bit pushed. He's despising the situation, maybe despising the situation, loathing the situation. Yeah, maybe he's not loathing the people, of course. Or I hope it's not the people, but the situation. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to be speaking, and it's a Paul resenting could be. It could be that, but it's like he doesn't want to be there. For all the anecdote, for the cute anecdote, for all that he wants to, hey, I'm happy of being a father now. It's not connecting. It's not interested. It's not invested, and it is sadly going to continue. I don't want to wish anyone bad, not even to the Harkles. I don't want them back. I actually wish them success. I want them to have success, and success in a nice way, because it would mean that they did things the right way. That's the success I wish for them. But they have to do things right in the first place. You know what I mean? I wish them success. Why not? Anyone can have the right to redeem themselves. But so far, Harry is not doing that.
This community's mission is clear, and in the face of a rapidly growing need, with the charity almost entirely funded through the generosity of donors, we all must continue to amass resource, bring awareness, and open our hearts. So, we are extremely grateful to everyone who has played a part this year in helping the charity achieve its goals. There is obviously so much more important work to do, and I know that you will continue to support and spread the word as we strengthen the Wellchild community together. Congratulations once again to all of tonight's deserving winners.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna torture you with such a bland speech, with underwhelming delivery, and it's like, maybe could it be that Megan doesn't care either, doesn't care about the public speaking thing? I would love to watch a new speech by Megan to have a better analysis of what's Megan gonna do now. What is her plan now? How is she going to do things? So many. We're left with much more questions this time. But this is why body language and behavior are so fascinating. So many things I did not catch, especially in behavior and his words, the first time. And I can understand now. I did not understand that last year. So many of you claiming that this was fake, that this was not that. I think I gave Harry a huge pass on this speech. But right now, I can't do the same, because so many things that, especially personal anecdotes, that he shouldn't either be reading from a script or be ashamed of. If you read them from a script, well, maybe you're that nervous that you can't even connect two words, not even having practiced them in your daily life with your friends in your meetings. That is odd. And if you're ashamed of that, if it's that you lowered your case, it was this moment, it was just reading that.
And I remember squeezing Megan's hand so tight during the awards, and both of us were thinking what it would be like to be parents one day.
It's like he's rushing the anecdote. He's rushing it. He doesn't want to talk about it. He's like being ashamed of that. Why? It's something that doesn't fit. You should be happy to be a father now. You should be happy of that anecdote. You should be at least have that energy coming out of you. There is not. He's tense. He's afraid. He's everything but a proud man of his family. And that's one of the red flags that everyone sees on him. Something is not right with Harry, and it has not been right for such a long time that we'll think that this is the real Harry, that it has been the real Harry all along. But he has not been. This is not Harry, because we have seen him. I've put enough examples of Harry's speeches that he does a much better job than this. Then how come he's going backwards? Big question that I hope to answer in the short term, in the near future. My body language buddies, I'm glad to have had you tonight, this evening, this analysis. Again, we have more questions than answers, but most important, I want you to reflect and think about what we saw tonight, this evening, and see how can you apply this observations in your daily life. Much more important, not asking the questions about the articles, so many questions that we should ask, but asking those questions in your day-to-day conversations and interactions, and see if you can make sense of when people try to hide things from you. Well, I hope I've made throw some light over that. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and until we meet in another video or another live, it has been a pleasure to meet you. And remember, if you want to support my channel, there's the PayPal link in the description that you can use and send any tips that you would like to keep the lights on and support me in my video making journey. Remember the two most important words: much love and bliss. One day I'm gonna explain you what are they so important. And take care, because I love you all. Bye bye.